Kính chào quý vị, chiều nay chúng ta trong chương trình Sức mạnh cộng đồng về giáo dục thì chúng ta có dịp để chúng ta tiếp chuyện cùng với lại ông Dennis King là CEO của Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, cùng với tôi là anh Hồng Cao, chủ tịch của giám đốc của Việt Museum, bảo tàng viện người Việt ở tại San Jose này. Chính tôi là Sam Hồ, và trong chương trình Sức mạnh cộng đồng này chúng ta sẽ tiếp chuyện với ông Dennis King về làm thế nào phương pháp nào ông đã giúp để mà phát triển cái trung tâm thương mại của người Mễ. Mặc dù ông là người da trắng nhưng mà ông được lòng với lại người Mễ ở đây, và thưa quý vị, đó là một cái sự khác biệt rất đặc biệt mà không phải dễ đâu quý vị. Tại vì người Mễ họ rất là có nhiều cái tự hào dân tộc của họ, nhưng mà ông phải có một cái mối quan hệ rất là đặc biệt với họ, cho nên là cái vấn đề mà phân biệt giữa văn hóa và ngôn ngữ nó không có là một cái trở ngại, bởi vì ông là người biết cách làm việc và đem rất nhiều cái kết quả tốt cho cộng đồng người Mỹ gốc Mễ ở đây trong cả mấy thập niên qua. Cho nên cái điều quan trọng là mình có đem được kết quả lại cho nhau không. Thì đó là cái đề tài chúng ta muốn học hỏi bữa nay, là ông có thể chia sẻ với chúng ta về cái cách thế nào mà ông giúp đứng trong cái vị trí là giám đốc của phòng thương mại người Mỹ gốc Mễ, để mà giúp đem những cái nguồn tài chánh hay là cái nhân lực, những cái sức mạnh và những cái tài nguyên vô trong cái cơ quan đó, để mà cơ quan đó phục vụ được rất là nhiều người ở tại San Jose, Santa Clara trong suốt cả 3 thập niên qua. Thì today we have an opportunity to have a conversation with our friend here, CEO of Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Dennis King.
Shall we say hello again?
Yes, sir. And thank you very much for sharing with us, the past couple sessions in terms of your personal investment into the life of San Jose, Santa Clara County, from your high school days into your college days, and your work in the community, as well as your support for many different communities to grow, including not only through the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but also through the Small Business Administration Corporation, the SBDC, that you were the chief of that regional center, which is a very important role, and that you have helped thousands of families, or especially thousands of businesses, small businesses, even through the COVID era, where I understand that you had at least 2 contracts from the city of San Jose. One of them was $4 million or so, and the other one was about $3 million.
Your memory is amazing.
Yeah,
exceptionally the money.
2 years.
All the money.
Yeah.
2 years in a row, and from my understanding that you've served over approximately 2,000 businesses, to 2,000 clients, right?
Well, actually, with our SBDC, Small Business Development Center, we had that for 14 years. And typically we serve between 400 and 2,000 small business owners every year for each one of those years.
That is a lot if you multiply that by 14 years.
Yeah. And so I've got a wonderful team around me, and they match my enthusiasm and my passion for serving the community. We're able to do most of our programming in Spanish, Vietnamese, and English as the primary languages, but we also dealt with other languages as well.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, share with us, this is the part where I think it requires some, what are the building blocks necessary for a organization to grow, nonprofit, community-based organization that is bringing social services, important for the growth of communities and families. in particularly the population that mostly benefit from your service. I think it was like 70% or 75% of the population that benefit from your service are in the low income areas,
Well,
zip codes.
Our target was the immigrant communities of Santa Clara County.
Right.
And except for those that have been recruited to work in the high-tech communities, yes, when immigrants come here, usually it takes a while to get grounded. I mean, learning a new language, most often learning new culture, all that takes time. And so usually that starts at a low to moderate income community until they find their rhythm.
Yeah. You have any question you want to share?
Yeah, okay. So anh Sam có đặt câu hỏi với lại ông Dennis King là vấn đề là cái làm thế nào mà để ông có thể ông kết hợp lại ông để xây dựng được một cái việc làm của ông trong như chúng ta đã biết ông là rất là lâu năm ở đây xây dựng trong cái phòng thương mại của Mễ, cũng giống như là ông đã từng làm việc ở trong tất cả các nhiều cái lĩnh vực khác như là những cái loan cho những cái thương nghiệp nhỏ vân vân. Thì ông nói rằng cái vấn đề là cái trọng tâm của ông á, là ông giúp cho những cái người dân di dân thiểu số, và những cái người đó là những người mà họ ít có được những cái kinh nghiệm trong vấn đề đó, để làm thế nào để tạo cho họ có một cái kết hợp với họ để họ giúp họ trên con đường đó. Mà như chúng ta đã biết là có thể nói là khoảng như anh Sam có nói là khoảng như 1/4, khoảng 20-25% đó là những cái người 75% là cho người mà gọi là thiểu số, những người di dân. Đó là cái vấn đề mà đóng góp cũng ở trong cái vấn đề đó.
I think the biggest challenge for any immigrant community, especially here for the Vietnamese American community and the Latino communities, the number one big challenge is trying to learn who you can trust. The trust is the big issue, and that's easier said than done, but it really takes developing those relationships based on trust, mutual trust. For our friends, as you know well, in the Vietnamese American community, to have so much of their heritage, of their physical being, essentially stolen from them, and to come here, with the incredible sacrifice of being forced to give up so much of your self-definition of your community, to reestablish yourself and recreate roots that normally takes generations. To do that as rapidly as one can is truly amazing. So that's certainly one main area to address. The Latino community, by and large, even though it's not just from Mexico but from all over Latin America, don't have that same experience of things being ripped away from them per se, but they have similar challenges in having to embrace a whole new way of life and a whole different language. And again, the big challenge is learning who you can trust.
But for the you're talking about the Vietnamese community, I agree.
Yes.
Building the trust is very important, because for the Vietnamese refugees come here, they sacrifice and they lost everything. They left everything at home and rebuild it. They want to build reputation, to make the people recognize their contribution, and they work very hard. To compare with the Hispanic, community, they have much more easier, because they don't have endure, the hardship like the Vietnamese people, and maybe they have know the system much better than Vietnamese, because the Vietnamese in our home country is a total different. They don't have the system like we have here.
That's true, although please keep in mind the Latino community also includes communities like in Central America and South America, where they've had similar experiences with their governments essentially taking everything, almost everything from them as well. So it sort of depends on where they're from. But the general rule, most immigrants from Mexico are not here, they're not forced to be here. And they try to maintain ties with their families. With the Vietnamese American community, that's for a generation that was impossible, and even today is very difficult. So I say that with great respect. I have to remind all the other citizens who are already here, who grew up here, is that we don't have an experience like that. So we need to understand the enormous sacrifice. One thing, though, that wasn't stolen from the Vietnamese American community, though, is right here. Their entrepreneurial spirit, their courage, their tenacity, their ability to figure out how do we make the best out of a terrible circumstance. And for that, I think that's the secret sauce for the power that we see in the Vietnamese American community today. And I say that with great respect.
And the most important is they work very hard. They work hard for living, and they because whenever they sacrifice, they left everything and they build a new life here. They have to start from the scratch, and they know we have to go on the very hard way, to have their living.
So I would
absolutely right.
help us understand that when you how did you first get to be a official employee representing the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and then what did you need to address when you first started with the organization, and how you overcame some of those challenges?
I guess part of the answer, Sam, is just being very involved and connected in the community for my life. And then you develop friendships along the way. You learn, sometimes quickly, sometimes it takes a long time, to learn who you can respect and trust, who you can rely on. And so when it comes time to do programs in the community on behalf of the community, it's not different in that sense from starting your own business. You still need to know who you can count on. So I've been very fortunate to, over the years, develop genuine friendships, developing, to celebrate diversity, because there are so many just wonderful people here, and being able to understand their story and to intersect with our experiences about where does that make sense, or how do we collaborate. And the joy of welcoming new people to the community, whether it's by themselves or with community components themselves, is a great experience when you go not to try to sell them anything, when you go try to understand them. And you start first with trying to understand what their experience is, and then hopefully from that have an understanding about where you connect them to other people and to other resources to help them go on their life's journey.
That's true, because you connect and you learn from them, study from them, and they build up the relationship, and also the trustfully with the people. They come and they trust the system. That's the key thing, I think. Is that right?
Well, the system, when they see the system is really a network of people, and understanding it's people that makes life enjoyable or makes life difficult. It's the people. But working as a system or as a community, that's the multiplier.
Okay, let I explain a little bit in
Please.
Vietnamese because maybe when we talk too long, maybe I forgot.
Yes.
Hồi nãy giờ đó chúng tôi có nói chuyện đó thì giống như là chúng ta đã biết là muốn hỏi cái ông Sam cũng muốn hỏi ông King này đó làm thế nào để ông build up được cái trong những cái người mà chung quanh đó, để mà thì ông trả lời rằng là cái quan trọng đầu tiên là ông là phải tìm hiểu và phải gây dựng cái tình với nhau, là tại vì muốn có cái niềm tin đó thì mới có thể xây dựng được một cái đó. Thì trong khi đó thì ông nói rằng là trong cái việc làm của ông thì dĩ nhiên là trong cái đối tượng của ông là những người đó, thì ông có nhận định rằng trong những cái người mà ông tiếp xúc là trong cái cộng đồng người tị nạn Việt Nam đó là một cái sự đặc biệt, là vì thường người Việt Nam đi qua đây với những cái hoàn cảnh như vậy đó, nhưng mà họ có một cái suy nghĩ rất nhiều, họ biết một cái tính toán, và đồng thời đó cũng có nhấn mạnh là những cái việc làm rất là họ chịu cực khổ để mà họ xây dựng, là vì tất cả những gì đã bị mất mát bỏ lại đằng sau lưng quê hương rồi thì sang đây tạo dựng lại từ đầu thì nó rất là khó khăn. Đó là cái vấn đề ông muốn nhấn mạnh, là vấn đề trong cái tiếp xúc của ông với các cộng đồng của các giới ở tại đây.
So I hear that trust is a very important factor, very variable. Relationship very important, and network is a very important aspect of building any kind of a relationship or business in a way. So when you joined the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which was approximately when? Would it be like 20, maybe 2000 or 1998?
There were a number of different intersections. So
Yeah.
I volunteered on different projects.
You volunteer first
For about 10 years in different projects.
Okay.
And even before that, I had many other intersections. Certainly my experience in college, for example. College, when I first went there, was not very diverse. But for some reason, my closest friends were among the diverse communities. So it's been, and that goes back, I hate to say it, over 50 years ago now. So it's been interesting to see so many of the people who are active in a college campus are active in the community. Some, prominent elected officials, and many who head up different organizations. And then when there are issues that need to get addressed in the community, we have a way of reaching out to each other to be mutually supportive. To answer your question very directly, in terms of my latest experience with them, is when I accepted to work for them for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce on September the 8th, 1998.
1998.
98.
Yeah.
As an employee at the time. But of course, there's been lots of interactions before and since on that. That doesn't talk about one of my experiences for almost 20 years was involved with San Jose's Sister City program. And that was a program established by President Eisenhower back in the mid-50s, 1954, 1955. As people here may remember the name Eisenhower, and that he was, of course, the head of the Allied forces in World War II as a general. So he knew firsthand about the horrors of war and thought that what can he do to promote peace in a meaningful way. And so he was the one that helped refine the idea that he believed that wars and conflicts often take place when peoples don't understand each other. They don't know each other. They don't know each other's values. And the best way to promote peace is have a citizen to citizen, not just government to government, but a citizen to citizen, informal citizen ambassador to one another. And to do that through student exchanges and art exchanges, cultural exchanges, and then ultimately economic exchanges. So being involved in that kind of program gave me a great front door to many of the communities of San Jose.
So you said Eisenhower, he opened up for all the field you're talking about.
He was the one that initiated the program.
But yeah, I know, Eisenhower, because that's after the World War II, and he got a lot of idea how to develop, how to build up the country, like, you see on the system right here, build infrastructure and everything, the economic build up.
Yes.
It's after World War II. Yeah.
Yes.
So when you first joined the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, one of the obvious question is that, if it's Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and you not being a Mexican American or a Latino, then how's that barrier was overcome? How did you overcome that barrier?
Well, that's a continuing question. I'm not sure I've completely overcome that barrier yet, but certainly enough to be able to do some things. So trust is it's an easy word to say, but it's a much more challenging word to live and to be. Sometimes trust means that you're reliable, that you say you're going to do something and then you actually do it. And we live in a world of distractions and disappointments. So sometimes people intend to do something, but something else gets in the way and they don't. Unfortunately, if you say something and you don't do it, you start developing a relationship that means that you're not reliable, that you can't be trusted. Not that you're going to do something dishonest, but that you can't keep your promises. And so I come from a very conservative school of thought, is that if you make a promise, you keep it. Whatever that is, you find a way. You keep your promise. And so that got tested with me in the little projects along the way. So it's not something you turn on the light switch and suddenly you're trusted. It's, we do this project, maybe we do an event, or we do a business mixer, or we do a panel of speakers on something, or we advocate on a particular issue before the city council or the board of supervisors. And when they realize that it's not just that you're honest, but that you're listening to them, and that you hear what they're saying, and that you're willing to stand together with them on important issues, slowly that builds up the relationship to know that you can be trusted.
Okay, may I explain a little bit? Nãy giờ thì chúng tôi có nói chuyện với ông King á. Vấn đề thì ông có các nghĩa là trong những cái như chúng ta đã biết là từ hồi sau thời chiến thì tổng thống Eisenhower của Hoa Kỳ ông cũng đã mở ra rất nhiều cái chương trình phát triển về kinh tế, và có nhiều cái chương trình đặc biệt để mà xây dựng cho đất nước. Thì tiếp theo cái lời anh Sam hỏi ông đó là thế nào mà ông có thể mà ông không phải là cái người mà gốc Mễ hay là gì mà ông lại là trưởng một cái coi như là president của một cái phòng thương mại của người Mễ. Thì ông cái quá khứ ông đã có trình bày đó là ông bắt đầu làm việc đó là từ những cái ông kêu là volunteer, làm việc volunteer thôi trong suốt cả 10 năm. Thì sau đó tới năm 1998 thì ông mới thực sự ông làm việc, mà ông sở dĩ mà ông có thể ông build up mà ông làm lên những cái step đó là tất cả mọi thứ là do cái vấn đề là những connection của ông, những cái sự ông gắn kết lại với lại những cái mọi người, và đặc biệt là ông nói đi từ những cái không phải mà tự động mà giống như mình mở một cái ổ khóa điện mà bật cái nó cháy liền, nó phải đi từ những cái nhỏ, những cái bộ nhật mà đầu tiên của ông á, là cái quan trọng nhất của ông là ông giữ cái lời hứa, ông làm hứa cái điều gì ông sẽ hoàn thành, và từ đó những cái bước tiến ông đi lên.
So of course trust was the one that you have been able to capitalize on basically, because that's a very important attribute, right? That anyone would want to have or would expect from other people is reliability and can I trust you, and if you say one way you will get it done, not the other way. So that is such a very important component for immigrants that just came to the United States or they've been here for a long time, and trust is still a very important characteristic that we must have in order to be able to overcome certain barriers, right?
And there's some challenges with that, though, Sam, and not just a question of honesty versus dishonesty, but keeping promises includes being on time. Mm-hmm. And for many in the community, being on time is kind of culturally defined.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by on time, right?
So when I say 4 o'clock, then usually that means 10 minutes to 4, right? Somebody else, when you say 4 o'clock, they're just getting started.
Yeah.
And so part of understanding diversity is to say, well, they may be a little soft over here, but on the whole, they can be trusted, you know. But that's a barrier. That's something to be overcome. Mm-hmm. Because if they say 4 o'clock and they're not here at 4 o'clock, other things are dependent on it, then it could get translated as to say they're not reliable. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes very difficult. Mm-hmm. And in the business community, a classic example is that much of what part of the programs that I've been involved in is helping women-owned, minority-owned businesses get government contracts. Mm-hmm. But in the government contract world, is if they say a bid is a bid opportunity to put your proposal before them. Mm-hmm. Usually takes a lot of work to be prepared. Mm-hmm. But if they say the bid is due at 1 o'clock, mm-hmm. and you come in at 1:30, you've lost. Mm-hmm. If you come at 1:10, you've lost. Mm-hmm. And so one of the harsh lessons is that while culture wants you to be casual about it, mm-hmm. In the business community, it's not quite so casual. Mm-hmm. And part of being trusting and trustworthy is to keep your promises on time. Mm-hmm. And that's difficult.
Yeah. Thì ông có các nghĩa đó, ông nói ông là cái vấn đề, anh Sam cũng đặt vấn đề ông nói về cái vấn đề cái trust, cũng đồng thời là những cái lời hứa mình phải làm giữ đúng cái lời hứa, và đồng thời mình như vậy đó nó sẽ giúp cho ông như thế nào. Thì ông nói là trong cái vấn đề làm việc đó, thì như chúng ta đã biết, tất cả những cái gì làm là không những cái project đó phải làm đúng thời hạn, mà phải đúng cái lúc thời điểm mà đưa, thì lấy ví dụ như cái project cần phải đưa lên để trình cho chính quyền đó là 1 giờ thì mình phải đúng 1 giờ, chứ không phải là nếu mình đi quá hàng đó là cái vấn đề đó là nó đã fail rồi, nó đã không có thể thành công được. Nên những cái gì mà mình làm việc là mình phải làm đúng thời hạn, và mình phải giữ lời hứa và làm đúng theo những cái thời hạn đã quy định. May I ask you one more thing? You're talking about relationship between you and the other people, who can trust you and you can work with them. But in terms right now, if they're in the position of you run the commerce chamber of commerce, is one side with the people, with the with business, the other side with the government or governmental agency. How can we can handle both, right? You can, because you like a middle. You have to take care. The business come to you, and also we have to find some resource to support. How
right.
can you do it?
Well, it's interesting that you describe it that way, because you are exactly right. Mm. For a number of years, we had a conference to bring business people to meet government people, mm-hmm. And we called the conference Bridge. because that's what we've viewed our role is to be that bridge. And for most bridges, you need a strong foundation on both sides. And if you don't have it, if you only have a strength on one side, a bridge is not a bridge. It might be a ramp, but it's not a bridge. So the role that I see for chambers of commerce is to be that bridge, to be that strong go-between and in our case, small businesses and others, whether it be government agencies or other programs.
Yeah, that's very interesting because the question I raised to you exactly like my position right here. When I retired from government and I try to help the community, and then the most result and also the benefit is that I know the system. I have a connection with the government, and I can help the community some way because with my understanding the system and with my connection, I think that's the benefit for the people. The same thing like you said, is I know you before you come to that position, you already work outside and you have connection with them already, and so that's the flood. Thank you.
Well, I hope there are smart listeners who realize your value.
That's why I ask you some questions so I can learn some more. And the more I talk with you, the more interesting I have, because I found from you, very interesting guy. I can learn some.
I strongly suspect that you already know it.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
We're just putting words to it.
Tôi có nói chuyện với ông về vấn đề đó. Nãy giờ mình đặt vấn đề mình nói chuyện với ông á, thì giống như anh Sam cũng đã khai thác, ông hỏi ông về cái tức làm sao ông Trinh đó, thì mình tóm tắt lại là nó có một cái connection giữa bên ông ở cái vị trí người điều hành một cái phòng thương mại thì phải tiếp xúc và giúp đỡ cho những business, nhưng mà tôi có đặt cái vấn đề về ông đó, một kia đó làm thế nào có những cái tiếp xúc chính quyền hoặc là những cơ quan chính quyền đó để làm thế nào mình có những cái sự hỗ trợ đó. Thì ông nói rất đúng, chuyện rất đúng. Tại vì giống như mình đã biết là cái background của ông giải thích là trước khi ông làm, ông cũng đã làm tình nguyện, ông có làm cho những cái người mà chính quyền ở đây, thì những cái connection đó, những cái tiếp xúc đó là những cái điều đó là rất là cần thiết để mà ông khi ông làm việc ông có thể nhận được cái sự hỗ trợ của từ chính quyền, và đồng thời ông tiếp xúc với chính quyền và connect lại với những cái business.
Next week is a good example. We have a workshop, a small workshop, but it's with the procurement officers of the Valley Transit Authority. And that's a very important government agency. And we're bringing decision makers on an informal gathering so that small business owners who are looking for contract opportunities with VTA can meet decision makers.
Yeah. Okay. So where is it?
It's in Mountain View.
Oh.
In the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's a free event.
Do you know any specific day?
Wednesday, 3 o'clock.
Wednesday of next week?
Next week.
That means the 12, right?
Yes.
12. Okay.
Yes.
Thì ông có thông báo đó là tuần tới này đó, ngày thứ Tư 12 tháng 8 đó là sẽ có một cái hội nghị tại Mountain View đó, để cho những cái người mà thương gia đó có thể gặp gỡ với lại nó kêu là SBA, Small Business
Advisors.
Well, no, it's just our Hispanic chamber.
Okay.
Is offering it.
It's specifically for the Hispanic business.
No, it's open to the community.
Yeah.
It's open to the community.
Tôi xin lỗi là sẽ có cái cuộc gặp gỡ giữa cái phòng thương mại của người Mễ đó với lại tất cả mọi người mà có muốn interesting trong cái vấn đề mà của thương mại ở tại Mountain View vào ngày thứ Tư tuần tới, là ngày thứ Tư ngày 12 tây.
One of the challenges, I think, when small business owners look at the millions and millions of dollars are being spent locally, right here, and they'd like to figure out, well, how do they get be able to bid on that or to partner with somebody to do that. Usually the first big challenge is getting access to the decision makers. Who's making these decisions, and how do you get access to them? How do you have a conversation with them? And that's the value of these informal situations, because here's a chance to meet some of those decision makers in person.
Yeah, so that means they will bring up the opportunity for the people who qualify can get the help, right?
They'll be there, yes, to explain what the opportunities are, and probably explain the opportunities that's coming up over the next year, so that business owners can start getting ready to say, hey, I'd like to go after that. Or, equally important, they may say, gee, that's a big project for me alone, but maybe the person sitting next to me would like to team up with me. And we partner and go after that.
Ok, ông cũng có cái nghĩa thêm là trong cái cơ hội đó là tại cái phòng thương mại của Mỹ, mà trong cái ngày đó ở tại Mountain đó thì tất cả mọi người sẽ tụ tập, và ở đó cũng sẽ trình bày tất cả những cái nguồn, những cái dự án, những cái gì mà mình có thể nào mà đóng góp, mà mình có thấy rằng mình có khả năng, mình có thể mình làm được những cái đó, hoặc là mình có cơ hội làm việc đó, thì mình sẽ tiếp xúc. Đồng thời những cái có thể là mình không làm được thì mình có thể mình join với lại những người bạn của mình để mà cùng join với nhau, để mà apply, để mà lấy được những cái quỹ đó.
Okay, so I wanted to know that when you first came, as we probably draw to a close of the program today, when you first officially became the employee there, how did the financial capacity of the organization change over time? Did you start with a big major budget, or did you start with a certain number, and then how did it takes the organization to its best days and its low, not so good days?
So I guess it starts with trying to be very clear on who are you an advocate on behalf, and
who your target audience is.
How do you connect the dots? And so, yes, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, our primary target were Hispanics, but Hispanic business owners. And then as we developed our program, we found that we had much in common with other minorities, and that's where we reached out to, like the Black Chamber of Commerce, the Vietnamese American Chamber of Commerce, other chambers that is trying to do similar things, to say, when we band together, we're stronger. So that when you're trying to get attention from a corporation to sponsor something, it's when you can point out a stronger message, you're more likely to be effective. So the answer to your question generally is that it could start with events, doing something, and then again building that bridge to say, okay, here's the people that we want to come to this event. Who do we know that wants to reach those people? And then in a conversation, and maybe later a formal presentation for sponsors, is that's where you bring opportunity and people together. And the trick is that you keep doing it. You don't do it just once, but that you keep doing it. In that sense, it's like the bricklayer that's building the building. You can't be satisfied with one brick. As you're putting one in place, you've got to make sure that the next place is positioned. And you've got to keep doing that. And so that's basically what my challenge in the beginning was, to identify the people on both sides of that bridge and find vehicles to bring them together and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And that builds momentum. Ultimately, instead of events, you're now doing programs. And with programs come bigger opportunities. So That's the general description.
Yeah. Ông có cách nghĩa đó là theo như anh Sam hỏi đó, để mà cái phát triển của nó như thế nào thì ông có cách nghĩa. Ông nói là đầu tiên đó là chắc chắn là do ông phục vụ là trong cái lĩnh vực của bên phòng thương mại của Mễ thì là của những người Mễ với nhau. Tuy nhiên không có nghĩa là vậy, nó có một cái nối kết, tức là cái BRICS, không những là cái cộng đồng người Mễ và những cái cộng đồng khác, ví dụ cộng đồng của Việt Nam, mà có cùng chung một cái hướng đi, một cái như vậy để kết hợp cho nó mạnh mẽ hơn nữa. Rồi từ những cái event, tức là những cái cơ hội gặp gỡ như vậy đó, rồi ta trở thành ra tự lặp đi lặp lại và trở thành ra một cái chương trình, tức là một cái program để mà thực sự để phục vụ cho mọi người. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I think that is a wonderful place for us to kind of pause here, and then we'll have, future we can have more conversation, and we can exchange all these experiences and ideas, successes and failures in life as a great lesson for us all. So I personally benefit from having this conversation, and I hope our audience also can benefit from this conversation. If we were to put some keywords together for this conversation, I would certainly make sure that there's trust, there is the relationship, there is network, there is time factor, and reliability, and commitment, and keep doing the right thing, small things at a time, and it will have the snowball effect if we keep doing the right thing, building on those pillars of trust and relationship and network and collaboration.
And if your friend Karen was here today teaching you a word in Spanish, it might be community. Community. Because that's what community is all about. And whether it's a city or a town or a district like District 7 or a nation, it's still, the idea is, what do we have in common and how do we support one another? Now, in a week after next, I'm honored to be very involved with the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce, and just as I try to build bridges throughout our community here, that's an organization that does things statewide. So I've been honored to be on their board for 19 years now as their state parliamentarian. So I get to see bridge building on a bigger level.
How many people on that board are there?
There's 21 people on their board of directors of their board. They also have a foundation, and I serve on both.
Okay. So the foundation is beside with the board.
Right? Two separate organizations, but interconnected.
But only the foundation is the run the finance everything from the foundation. It's like a super chamber of commerce. It's a membership of other chambers of commerce. You said 21 board member.
21 board members.
Big one, huh?
Yes.
And how about the executive board, the arbitration board, to run the daily basic?
You mean like staff?
No, because beside of the board director, they have the people who running the daily.
Oh, the daily work.
The
daily work.
Like the CEO, president, CEO.
Yes. So I think their staff is about 10 right now. Yes.
But it's the big board. The 21 is huge.
Yes.
I really appreciate the sharing of the information here. I do personally grow up and throughout my career work with many different ethnic groups, racial groups. My bosses basically come from all backgrounds. I've had Cuban American boss, the Caucasian, African American, Mexican Americans, Honduras, all those people that I've worked with as my supervisors, and I've learned quite a bit from them. I sit on the CET board for over 20 years, and I have great respect for our communities from different backgrounds, the Latinx community, the African American community, of course, the general population communities in our surroundings. So I have great respect and appreciation for our brothers and sisters from different backgrounds. So I think this conversation is very good to share together, and hopefully that it will help all of us grow, whether it's personally or community-wide, right? So,
Well, there's very few with as much of a passion for serving diverse communities as you have. And so I think you mentioned your respect for all those communities. I've seen firsthand how many of those communities have respect for you.
yeah, we hope to be able to build those bridges like you have been trying to do. It's just that's what really life is all about. That I think that's very biblical what we do too. So with that, we thank you very much for all of us
Thank you.
to be here with us, and may you be blessed with many successes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis King.
Thank you.
Thank you, anh
Yeah,
Học
thank
Hồng
you.
Cao. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.